Hi everyone. In this video, we will be discussing on how we can enable application insight on your Azure Web App with the help of OpenTelemetry. Now for this, first we will have to create a Web App resource in our Azure. So let me go to App Services, click on Create, Web App. Now for this demo, I will be creating a .NET application, ASP.NET, and I will be enabling the application insight with the help of OpenTelemetry for ASP.NET application. Let me create a resource group. Click on OK. Provide a name for my web app. Leave the other settings as default. And for the runtime stack, I will select .NET 8, which is the stable version as of now. And so the region, let me select North Europe. It has automatically selected a plan, whereas I wouldn't be needing the premium plan. For our demo purpose, the basic should be enough. Click on Next. And leave these settings as default. And under Monitor plus Secure, I will be selecting Application Insight as No, because we have already explored this and I have explained in my previous video that this is the automatic way of enabling Application Insight. In this video, we will be looking at the manual way, the manual integration, which is through the OpenTelemetry. So I will select No over here, click on Review plus Create, click on Create. My web app has been created. Let me test it out by clicking on the URL. And as expected, this is redirecting to my default homepage. So my web app is deployed successfully. The next step is to create an application insight, which will be monitoring our web app application. So I will duplicate this tab. Let me search for application insight. Click on create. I'll select the same resource group. Let me give the name as test app insight. I'll leave the same region. So when we create an application insight, a log analytic workspace gets also created where the logs of the application insight get ingested and where we can perform the analytics. So I will click on review plus create. Alright, now I have both my web app and application insight created. Now the next step would be to add the connection string of my application insight to the environment variable of my web app. Let me go to my web app, search for environment variable. Now under app settings, I will click on add. Let me go into the official documentation, and the first step is to actually copy the let me go to the official documentation, and if I scroll down, you have this option, paste the connection string in your environment. So what you need to do is copy this name, application insight connection string, go to my environment variables under app setting, provide it in the name section. As for the value, let me go into my application insight resource, This is the connection string. Let me copy this, and under the value, I'll paste it over here. Click on apply and click on confirm. Now this is how the web app will be able to successfully authenticate to the application insight resource. Once the connection string is added, next what we can do is we can go ahead and deploy our code. And before deploying, we need to make some changes within the main application code. So I will first go into this public repository. I will add the link to this repository in the description. So this is a sample ASP.NET application. I will click on code, download zip. Alright, it is downloaded. I'll copy this into my documents. Alright, so this is the downloaded folder. Let me click on extract. Extract this. Alright, so this is my extracted folder. Now if I open the extracted folder, you will see another folder within which I have my application code. Now I don't want it in this format, so I'll copy my application code, go back. I'll just create a new folder as ASP code, and I'll directly paste my application code within this folder. This is to avoid any sort of confusion during the deployment process, as multiple child folders might create permission issues. So I will go ahead and delete these remaining two folders, and I just have my ASP code folder within which I have my application code. That seems simple, right? Now the next step is to open Visual Studio Code. I'll click on File, Open Folder. Let me go into Documents, and this is my folder. Once it is selected, I'll click on Select Folder. Okay. Now this is my program.cs file. This is where we will be making the modification to the code in order to enable application insight using OpenTelemetry. So let me first go to the official documentation. I'll scroll up. Alright, so to enable OpenTelemetry with application insight, the prerequisite is to install the client library. And for that, let me copy this code, go back to my Visual Studio. Now, if you can see the button over here on the top, you can click on that to open your terminal. Alright, now you need to navigate to the folder where you have this program.cs file and the .cs project. So that is under src folder. Now let me type in get child item. Alright, I need to go into my src folder. So let me type in cd space src. Okay, and I will paste the line which I had copied from the official documentation and hit enter. This will successfully add the OpenTelemetry package to my application code. Alright, this is completed. If I go into my .cs project file, you can see this line has been added over here, line 11 to 13 for the OpenTelemetry package. So once that is done, I'll go into the next step to modify my application. So here, let me copy this piece of code, go to my Visual Studio Code, I'll close the terminal for now, head over to the program.cs file. Let me hit a bunch of enters and create some space. I will paste the code from the document. Now let's go line by line and see which all lines will be required and which we can avoid. So the first one will import the Azure Monitor OpenTelemetry namespace, which is totally required. And the next one is where builder is equal to web application.create folder. Now that is required, but if you can see, it is already there in line 17. So let me go ahead and remove that from line 17 to avoid duplicate values. So the next step is to add the OpenTelemetry and configure it to use Azure Monitor. So this is required over here. When it comes to line 9, it is already there in my code in line 22. So I do not require that. Let me remove this. As for app.run, it is already there in line 41. So I do not require that as well. Let me remove this. Let me remove all these blank spaces. Alright, we have added all the necessary lines of code in order to enable the application insight. I'll click on Save All. Once that is done, let me head over to the Azure extension on the left. Alright, my subscription is visible over here. Let me expand that. And this is my app services. And this is the app service, the web app which I had created. We will be deploying our code to our web app. I click my web app. Click on Deploy to Web App. And I'll choose my folder over here on the top. Click on Add Config. Click on Deploy. Alright, so the build is completed and the application has been deployed to my web app. Now let me go to my web app. And let me click on the URL. And as you can see, our code has been deployed to the web app. Previously it was showing the default homepage, but whereas now it is showing our code. Now let me go to the application insights. Click on application insight. And I am already seeing some data over here. So it looks like it has been enabled successfully. I'll click on live metrics. And I am able to see some data over here. So what we'll do is I will refresh and make some multiple requests to my web app. Click on refresh. I'll send in multiple requests. And as you can see, the requests are showing up under the incoming request tab. And therefore, our web app is successfully connected to the application insight and the insight is able to monitor it. Thanks for watching, and if you guys found this video useful, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.